Hey, VCers, Tony back with a little review of Beyonce's incredible record, Act 2, Beyonce, Cowboy Carter. Here's the album. There's the gate. As you can see, there's a QR code, quick response, and that QR code leads you to the track list, some information. You could buy, Beyonce stuff or delve deeper into it, but there's nothing on the record or on the labels as far as what the tracks are, so you have to look those up, which I have. And there's the inner, and I'll show you the LPs, which are here. This one we looked at with the whiskey glass. Each label is a different image. Here's a cool little pistol with a microphone type of thing on it. And we showed the other ones in the unboxing I did a few days ago. And as I promised, I listened to it twice, listened to it online quite a bit, and I'll give you my impressions in my review. First of all, I love this record. I think it's one of the best records to be released in the last few years. I don't buy a lot of new albums, a lot of new stuff as far as new artists. I don't explore, unfortunately, a lot of new artists. I'm just not, built that way at this point. I don't even hear new artists. So usually buy if a Stones comes out with a new record, or Roger Waters decides to redo Dark Side, or et cetera, Paul, things like that, Paul McCartney. But this is one of my new albums, and I like I said in my unboxing, the reason I got turned on to it was because I saw an endorsement by Sir Paul McCartney, because Beyonce does a little cover of Blackbird. So just going to talk about the record, give you my impressions. First of all, the record is recorded extremely well, very balanced. These four sides that I received on this black version, there's different versions, different variants. I have a black variant and 180 gram, etc. But the LP has 22 tracks, but there's a CD of this that has 27 tracks, which a lot of people are kind of, perplexed about. I am too. I thought it would have been nice if Beyonce added a download card in here for the CD version, so that we actually could get all the 27 tracks with a CD, complimentary based on the record. But I guess business is business, and why give out 5 million free CDs when you could sell 5 million CDs, basically. But she did stream this record initially before the album dropped. The album streamed about a month before this was released in April. Like I said, I just picked this up, just got this in the mail a few days ago. So if you watch my unboxing, I go into some details. But there's some interesting facts about this record. Besides, I really love it. I think it's one of the best records, like I said, I've heard of an artist that's new to me. I don't have any Beyonce. I know Beyonce's music. This is part of a trilogy of a Renaissance album that came out in 2022. She indicated there's going to be 3 acts. This is Act 2, which is Cowboy Carter. It's kind of a homage to Westerns. It's kind of a homage to the African American cowboys of our American past, and she talks about that in a lot of the interviews. So if you want to go back and look at some of the online interviews or online critiques of this record, you get some more insight into that. Overall, I don't believe it's a pure country record. It has the country elements. It also has Beyonce pop elements. It also has some rhythm and blues, some rap, but very little what I would call hip hop in this. Although the artists that she collaborates with are a who's who of hip hop, even who's who of rock. Just to give you an example, there's quite a bit of people collaborating on this record with her. Nile Rodgers, Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder, Cardi B, Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, Gary Clark Jr. all are on here, and a lot of those people actually play instruments on here. Gary Clark Jr. on here, guitar. Paul McCartney, I think, opens up Blackbird. They may have used an original guitar intro from Blackbird, the acoustic guitar intro from Blackbird, or he redid it, but it's definitely Paul. So that was cool. I'm going to go over the tracks and just give you some quick impressions on the tracks. There's 22 tracks on here. The flow is really nice of this record. Oh, by the way, we have Elvis here. Elvis is hanging out with us. And in the background, I put up some duet albums of country records that I have. And ironically, I had a Willie Nelson with Dolly Parton, and they're both on this record. We have a Willie Nelson with Chris Christopherson. We have a Bobby Gentry with Glenn Campbell. All fantastic albums. Just for a little bit from my country and Western collection. And the reason I brought the duets up, because there's about 4 or 5 duets on this record or more. I'm not really sure the number. There's some other ones on the CD version that I've only heard on streaming. There's actually one of Oh Louisiana, which is Chuck Berry is actually on the record, or on the CD rather. So that's pretty cool. If you go to YouTube, Chuck Berry is on the video, which is pretty cool. And also, I found that multiple songwriters on this record. Beyonce has collaborated with, in some cases, 5, 6 different people in some of these tracks. I'm not going to go into each individual track because I don't really know them, and I didn't take notes on that. But just looking it up on Wikipedia, you could do that. Just amazing. And I'm just going to say when this record wins some awards, possibly for songwriting, Grammy Awards or etc., you're going to see the stage full. One interesting one, the first track of the record is American Requiem. And that track's in at 5 minutes and 26 seconds. It's one of the longest tracks on the record. It starts it out in a really cool, it gives you a really good mode. And I was surprised to see that Stephen Stills of Crosby, Stills and Nash, that Stephen Stills is co-author on American Requiem. So a lot of the names I don't really know. A lot of the names are hip hop artists. I know the names. I don't know, their songs. I know a few of them because they're mega hits. But just to let you know that there's multiple artists on here. Even her husband is a collaborator on a lot of these records, and it's co-produced by Beyonce and other people. But I'll give you the tracks real fast. American Requiem, like I said, opens it up. That's the longest track on the record. The record is spread out very nicely over 4 sides for the 22 tracks. Some are really quick. Some are just intros. Some are middle of the road, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. But each one is completely different from the other. Each one is very surprising to me because I'm not a Beyonce person. I'm a country and Western fan. So I really drew me into this originally is when I heard some of the cuts like Jolene and Texas Hold'em. When I streamed them, I talked about that in the intro. So when I streamed these tracks, I just felt that the acoustic guitar, the dobro, the banjo, the tom-toms, the drumming was very organic, very country and very cool and very articulate, and not what I expected from a Beyonce album, to be honest with you. I also compared it to some of the tracks on Will the Circle Be Unbroken by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band when they collaborated with some icons of country and Western music and folk music at the time, like the Carters and unbelievable people on that Will the Circle Be Unbroken triple record set. So I'm just going to go through the tracks really fast. First track, like I indicated, American Requiem, pretty cool. Second track is Blackbird. Now, Blackbird, like I talked about, starts off with the acoustic guitar from the Blackbird from the White Album. And I'm just going to show this so you can get an idea. Here's the actual quick response code. And if you could click on that, you get all the information of the track listing and some background information on the tracks. It also leads you to all this other stuff. It's really a complicated maze. I wish another one of my critiques the other day was I wish that she would have put in a insert sheet or a some lyric sheets, but that didn't happen. So we have Blackbird, which is really cool. That's Lennon and McCartney's Blackbird. We have 16 Carriages, which is about 4 minutes long. That's a really good track. That's very country to me, and it reminds me of a 16 Black Limousines, like an Elvis Presley song from Elvis to Memphis, and True Love Travels on a Gravel Road. There you go, Elvis. Elvis can't talk because of copyright exclusions, if I may. So, but Elvis is there. And My Rose, which is with the next song is Protector. That's with Rummy Carter. Don't know her, but she does a great collaboration on Protector. Really cool song. My Rose with Mamie. Smokehouse Willie, that's Willie Nelson introduces that. Then we have the great Texas Hold'em, which is, I believe, the first single of this record. And that is, that I just love that record. Bodyguard is especially cool. And Bodyguard, I'm thinking, when I first heard it, I said, that is so familiar, that opening riff or the opening chords or, sequence of chords, sequence of notes is so familiar. And I finally figured it out. It's the exact replica of Santana's Smooth with Rob Thomas from his great duet album a few years ago that basically broke all of Santana's records. So that when you listen to Bodyguard, you'll hear Smooth, and you'll know it's Smooth because if you listen to this review. Next song is My Rose with Mamie, I guess it is. Smokehouse Willie, next track, that's an intro with Willie. That goes into Texas Hold'em. Bodyguard, like I just spoke about, is just the intro to Smooth. Then we have Dolly P, which is an intro by Dolly Parton, and that goes into Jolene because Dolly Parton wrote Jolene, and there's 400 covers or more of Jolene. And on a talk show, I don't know if it has anything to do with this record or Beyonce picking this tune, but on a talk show, I read that Beyonce once said that Jolene was recorded over 400 times, but it hasn't been done to her liking. It hasn't been done spectacularly or to the point where the person who did it, brought it to another level. And I think from what I hear with this Jolene, I think Beyonce has brought it to a new level. I haven't heard the other 399 or 400 other covers. Daughter is really cool. Not sure if her daughter's actually on that, her baby daughter, Beyonce. Spaghetti is not. The Spaghetti is the next track, but Spaghetti is only on the CD. It's not on the record. So I'm going to go through what's on the CD and what's on the record as well. Alligator Tears is a pretty cool track. That is on the LP. Smokehouse Hour 2 with Willie, which is great because Willie introduces it. And it's cool because you hear stations changing. You also hear different artists. It's almost if you know what I know. I don't know a lot of hip-hop. I don't know if it's done before in hip-hop or country, but on Wish You Were Here, someone's turning a dial of a radio station and it locks in. And that's what this is like. That's what the intro's like. So it's pretty cool. Next track is Just for Fun. That's with Willie Jones. Don't know Willie Jones, but excellent vocalist, excellent voice. Goes well with Beyonce's voice. And by the way, Beyonce on this record is angelic. She's heavily there's hip hop on it. There's rock on it. There's country, a little bit of country twang, but her voice just melds with everyone. it melts with everyone who she's with, the choir, the instruments. It's just she just has a spectacular voice. It hasn't. It's just soars. One track, which I'll go into when I get to it, it almost has an operatic quality to that, and that is "Daughter," which I just talked about. Just an amazing track. Beyonce indicated that this record's 5 years in the making. She actually recorded over 100 tracks. So I guess we'll see a lot of those tracks, or a majority of those, or maybe a quarter of those tracks on the Act 3 of this record, which we do not know what the path will be or what the style will be. But those things are in the can. So she just has to tweak this a little bit. And while I'm at it, as far as tweaking, I just want to thank everyone for dropping in again. I want to thank everyone for the subs and the likes and the comments. And I really dig everyone else out there on VC stuff. It's not easy. I give everyone a lot of credit. There's some really great people out there. So thanks to everyone who subbed. And if you haven't subbed, please consider subbing to the channel. Here's the gatefold again. And I just love this track's photo of the Queen. They call her the Queen. So I think we're on Just for Fun. Next song is on the vinyl is Two Most Wanted. Now that's a song with Miley Cyrus. That is a spectacular track. It's a masterpiece. I used to videotape weddings and parties and bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and the first dance in a marriage is the most significant song in the wedding party of that particular wedding. And I believe that the future weddings will have a lot of Two Most Wanted, because when you listen to that record, you hear it and they talk about riding shotgun, and I just got the chills again. So it's really good. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but her voice with Miley, don't know Miley. I know her from watching all these talk shows and award shows, and she's just great. So it's just a great track. I love that track. Levi's Jeans is with Post Malone. That's written by Niles Rodgers. So that has a lot of pedigree to it. Next track, which was on CD, is Flamingo. Don't know anything about it. Another track on the CD is Linda Martell Show with Linda Martell, a country artist, I believe. Ya Ya is I've listened to. That's only on the CD, but that has a Good Vibrations sample from the Beach Boys on it, which is, I wish this was on this record because I love that track. Also on the CD is Oh Louisiana. I talked about that earlier with Chuck Berry. And as I'm talking, I just remember I wanted to point out to you that there's also, I would say, 100 collaborators on this record. Because I was wondering who's playing all these acoustic instruments. I know her and her husband probably did the arranging, and the producers arrange all the choirs and people who come in and out of these tracks. But Stevie Wonder's on this record. John Batiste, again, is on this record. Gary Clark Jr., Rihanna, like I said, Niall. So there's a lot of people on this record that really make it stand out. And if you go to the internet, there are columns and articles that will tell you who plays on each track. So I wish that was included. I'll try to download that and include it into my record so I have that in the record. Oh Louisiana is a CD track. Next track on the record is Desert Eagle, which is a really good track. Desert Eagle is spectacular. Riverdance is one of my favorites. I guess it could be considered like an Irish dance tune. I'm not. That's what I think. I get a vibe for that. But that's with someone else. I'm not sure who's collaborating on that record with her. There's another female voice. Two Hands to Heaven is really nice. That's on the record. Tyrant is actually with Dolly. So Dolly actually duets with the Queen, two queens, Queen of Country and Queen of everything else, right? Next song is a really good song. It's with Shabuzi, and that was co-written by Pharrell Williams, who had that great mega hit a few years ago that took home multiple Grammys to Pharrell Williams. He does Sweet Honey Buckin'. He wrote that, and Sweet Honey Buckin' is with Shabuzi, and that's a really cool song. The last song ends with a prayer, and it's a loop back to American Requiem. It's a prayer, and they go into the American Requiem tune, and it's a little prayer at the end to close out the record. So the record comes full circle in that regard. I'll just show you the inners that come with it. That's my inner, and this also has the hype sticker on it. I put that on there. That's the hype sticker. Now these inners are terrible. They're almost cardboard like. So as you can see, what I have done is, put them in rice paper sleeves, rice plastic sleeves, and I'll show you the other label that has a little mechanical bull on it, which reminds me there's catchphrase in here or some words that will lend to country, such as Chevy, such as bucking, such as mechanical bull, such as horses, and things like that. But it's not a true country record. It's got country influences, but it has influences of music. And like I always quote this, but like Duke Ellington said, might be paraphrasing it, but Duke Ellington said there are two kinds of music: good music and the other kind. So this is good music, okay? It's not the other kind. This is all good music. Here's the other inner there. That's track disc 1, side 1, and with the whiskey glass, which reminds me of Willie, Whiskey River. So that's the records. And like I said, these records that I was lucky enough to get are flawless, very not as quiet as a UHQR or a one step, but very, very quiet. Just a little bit of noise in between or the end of a track or in between the track. But since the tracks blend very seamlessly to each other, it's really not a thing. I would say these records are extremely quiet. The ambience is great. The stereo separation is great. I took down some notes, which I'm going to go over. So again, just in case I've not to beat the horse, as they would say, is a country. What is it called? Country cliche, not to beat a dead horse, but the LP has 22 tracks, CD has 27 tracks, and they're very spread out nicely on the four sides. The records all blend into each other. It's well paced. It's acoustic, more electronic, acoustic, more electronic. So it's really well paced. Let me see. That's just well balanced. It's very organic. Its stereo images are great on this record. Like, I love this record. I think I actually enjoyed listening to it. I enjoyed it. Entire record. Multiple songwriters. Nice pacing. Also, Blackbird, to me, when I first heard Blackbird outside on a Bluetooth, I streamed it. I wasn't really impressed with Blackbird. It seemed like a standard, direct, a complete copy of the Beatles arrangement. But when I heard it on vinyl, it jumped out, and it really struck me as a great track. So I urge you to pick up this record or listen to this record online first. Everybody's taste is different, but on my system, this record sounded really great. Like I said before, Beyonce has a heavenly voice. It's just it's just incredible. And what was really cool, I'm going to hold this up. What was really cool on I believe it's the second album, side 1, when It's called Smoke 2. Willie Nelson is introducing. He goes through the channels, and you actually hear Chuck Berry. You actually hear Son House and some other country and Western people that I couldn't pick up who they were again. And like I said, Bodyguard, the opening sequence of chords, it's a replica or it's a mimic of Smooth with Santana and Rob Thomas. This was mastered by Colin Leonard, who I never knew who Colin Leonard is or was or now is. I looked him up, and he did a number of Beyonce records. He's won awards, I believe. I think he's either nominated or he's won maybe for some of Beyonce's records. But he's also done Beck, not Jeff Beck, but Beck, the new Beck. And he's also done Cardi B and some other hip-hop people that I'm not really familiar with. I couldn't discover whether this record was recorded onto tape or was recorded onto a digital source initially. The record is probably recorded both, given the time it took to record this record and the different people that were on it. But it doesn't matter. It sounds good on my system, whether it's all analog or digital, or it was partly analog or partly digital. That ship has sailed for me. Although I am considered an audiophile, this record sounds good. Don't forget, Brothers in Arms is a digital record. Fagan's great record, The Nightfly, is a digital record. So if it's done right, it's done right. There's the spine. And I don't think I left anything out. Just a really good record. I really recommend you give this a shot, give it a listen. This record has broke all records. It has broke all streaming records. I think it was streamed, who knows, 1 billion times already. It's only been out for a month. It has broken streaming records. It's #1 country Billboard. It's broken a record because it's a black female that is on top of the charts. That's a record. So it sold out on her site. The regular black copy sold out on her site, on Beyonce's site. So, but that's it. So cheers. Got a little Sun Records here. And just a little tribute to the Sun people. And keep rocking. Thanks again for listening to this. I hope this will at least entice you to try to give this record a try. I'm more of a rock guy. I listen to everything: jazz, country, rock, vocalist Tom Jones, Sinatra, Dean Martin, Mathis, go ahead, Ray Charles. It doesn't matter. First Beyond record, I'm very impressed. I'm probably going to get the first Renaissance record now if I could find one. I'm not even sure, if they're available. I'm sure they're available. I'm going to buy Renaissance so that at least I'll have the trilogy of this. So there's the enter again with the QR code and Beyonce, and a great shot. And another thing, if you notice, Beyonce is spelled differently, BEYINCE, Act 2. And that is because what Beyonce has written and talked about is that when either her or either someone in the family or her mother on her, I guess it's on Beyonce's birth certificate, it was spelled this way. It was spelled incorrectly. So that was later corrected. But that's the way her name was spelled, I believe, initially on her birth certificate. So that's cool. Most people don't notice that. Again, I would have liked to seen a download card with the CD version. Like I said, CD has an extra 5 tracks on it. And but that's the way it is. It's not in there. If you want the CD, you're going to have to pick up the CD as well as the record. So thanks again. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and let me know what you think about this Beyonce record. I really want to hear from you guys. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to be surprised. I consider this one of the best albums to come out in a long time. It's on a level. It's a great It's a great record. It's a great double record. It's eclectic in its own way. It has a country theme. It's not all country. As far as I know, I don't. Country to me is these guys behind me. Hank Williams is country to me. So, but that's it. It's really an eye opener. It really gave me an opportunity to listen to some new music that I'm not familiar with, as far as an artist that I'm not familiar with. So keep rocking. And I'll see you around next time. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. We are shutting down.